If you know a Scorpio, tag them before you go any further. Because what you're about to hear is not gentle, not pretty, not soft, it's the truth about what happens when Scorpio finally loses control. And I promise you, it's not what you think. It's darker. Deeper. Older. More primal. This is the version of Scorpio even they try to hide from themselves. Share this with the Scorpio who scares you a little, or the one who scares themselves. Scorpio is born under the ruling energy of death, rebirth, secrets, wounds, and forbidden truths. They feel emotions in the way oceans feel storms, fully, violently, silently, without warning. The world thinks Scorpio is intense by choice, but they don't understand, Scorpio is intense by nature. It's in their blood. It's their language. And when that intensity turns inward during a loss of control, the transformation is not logical, not gentle, not clean. It is catastrophic. When Scorpio loses control, it doesn't look like chaos. Scorpio never gives the world the satisfaction of watching them break. Instead, they collapse inward like a star turning into a black hole, silently, destructively, taking everything with them into their own darkness. No other sign loses control like Scorpio because no other sign feels betrayal, disappointment, or emotional rupture as deeply as they do. Scorpio doesn't break when life gets hard. They break when trust is violated. When loyalty is mocked. When something sacred is shattered. The pain is not sadness, it's violation. It's intrusion. It's poison in the bloodstream. Scorpio does not cry over the person who hurt them. They cry over the version of themselves that believed in that person. And then, something ancient wakes up. Scorpio doesn't simply shut down. They shift into another form. Their eyes go still, their energy retracts, their aura turns cold. The warmth disappears, the connection dissolves, the softness evaporates, like a door slammed shut in the soul. You can feel it even if you're not intuitive. Scorpio's silence is not absence. It's containment. It's pressure. It's the moment the knife is unsheathed spiritually, even if no action is taken. The dark version of Scorpio appears in 3 stages, though they happen so quickly you barely notice the transition. First comes the withdrawal of the soul. Their emotions detach from their body. They feel everything and nothing simultaneously. They become a living paradox, a heart on fire inside a frozen chest. This state is terrifying because Scorpio becomes unreadable. Not because they hide, but because they become too deep to perceive. You sense something is wrong, but you can no longer find them in their own eyes. Then comes the stare. Scorpio's gaze shifts into something ancient. Something predatory, but wounded. Something that looks through you, not at you. They are calculating, not out of revenge, but out of instinct. They are assessing danger. Measuring betrayal. Deciding whether the connection should be reborn, or buried. And finally, the shadow rises. Scorpio has one of the darkest, shadow selves, in the zodiac because they were born with access to the unconscious, the forbidden, the psychic. They don't just feel emotions, they transmute them. When they lose control, their shadow takes over in order to protect them. This shadow doesn't scream. It doesn't break things. It doesn't beg. It is calm. Terrifyingly calm. A calm born from collapse, not peace. This shadowed Scorpio can take 2 equally deadly forms. One is the chasm, the version of Scorpio who becomes emotionally bottomless. Nothing reaches them. Nothing affects them. They stop reacting because internally they are sinking into a psychic void. This is the Scorpio who ghosts, disappears, evaporates. They don't leave to hurt you. They leave because they're drowning and don't want you to see. Their vanishing is a burial. A self-imposed death. And when Scorpio goes dead inside, they are unreachable. The other is the venom, not the cartoon version where Scorpio gets revenge. This version is sophisticated, surgical, controlled. Scorpio never strikes from anger. Anger is too shallow for them. If they strike, it's from clarity. From truth. From cold realization. The Venom version of Scorpio restores karmic balance with precision, not chaos. They give you exactly what you gave them, magnified by emotional accuracy. Not because they want to see you hurt, but because they want the universe corrected. But the darkest part? Scorpio doesn't always need to do anything. Sometimes their silence is enough. Scorpio energy is powerful. When they pull away, the void itself does the work. Scorpio's loss of control is not just emotional, it's spiritual. It is the part of them that has survived lifetime after lifetime rising to the surface. Their wounds are old. Their patterns are old. Their fear of betrayal doesn't come from this life alone. It is written into their astrological DNA. When Scorpio breaks, they don't crumble. They transform. They molt. They shed. They burn into ash and rebuild. But the rebuilding always happens alone. Scorpio doesn't let people watch their rebirth. They disappear into the underworld of their own mind, gather the dead pieces of themselves, bury what must die, resurrect what must live, and return changed. Different. Sharper. Deeper. Sometimes kinder, sometimes colder. If you push Scorpio to the point of losing control, understand this, you will never get the same version of them back. That version died. A new one rises, and you do not get to choose who they become. But beneath all of this darkness lies the truth Scorpio rarely admits. They lose control because they loved too deeply. They trusted too fearlessly. They cared too intensely. They believed too fully. And they blame themselves for it. Scorpio's darkness is not born from malice. It is born from heartbreak. If you're a Scorpio reading this, let me speak directly to you. You did not deserve the betrayal that broke you. You did not deserve the wound that made you cold. You did not deserve the silence you were forced into. Your depth is not a curse. Your intensity is not too much. Your loyalty is not a flaw. You love with a level of devotion most people will never understand, and that is why they fear you. But don't mistake fear for truth. The right people will not fear your depth. They will drown in it willingly. You don't have to be steel all the time. You don't have to hide the pain that twisted you into silence. You don't have to punish yourself for caring. Your emotions are not weapons. Your intuition is not paranoia. Your darkness is not something to tame, it is something to understand. You are allowed to be soft. You are allowed to be fragile. You are allowed to be human. And before you leave, do one thing. Tag a Scorpio who needs to hear this. Tag the Scorpio who vanished without explanation. Tag the Scorpio who holds their pain like a secret. Tag the Scorpio who lost control and blamed themselves for bleeding. They won't ask for help. They won't say they're hurting. But they will recognize their story here. Let this reach them.